I came here looking for something that could last, something worth holding on to. And with you, I believe that's possible.
What's just happened?
You can explain this.
Why do I have to explain everything? I think I did most of the talking in
I
there.
really can't wait to see when the participants are allowed to carry out interviews and be truthful about what was going on in the experiment. Because I want to know, who does Karina know in the experiment? I want to know, were Adrian and Awhina really genuine during their time throughout the experiment? Or were they just there just to be on TV? And also, is anyone surprised with the Jamie and Dave situation result? No, let's be for real, we're not. And neither should anyone be surprised with Beth and TJ. But anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episode 37. Wow, it's hard to believe that it's Final Vows. It's hard to believe that, the season is ending because it just seems like yesterday when it started. Anyway, we start off with Jamie and Dave. Jamie and Dave are in a very good space. They're in a very good space. They've managed to overcome a lot since they've had homestays. I feel like them going home, Dave seeing his dad and hearing the positive feedback from his family is the reason why he's excited to sort of make the effort to make sure that this thing with Jamie works. They do revisit their wedding and obviously Jamie's first impression of her husband, which sort of boosted his ego because it seemed like even though he was a gentle giant, it seemed like Dave struggled with a lot of self-esteem issues. Maybe he had been put down by a lot of people because of his size. So to have someone accept him for who he is was amazing. So we get to revisit that. Obviously, they are nervous. I think they already knew that what they were going to say. There's no way they would have been sort of all cuddly, touchy-feely, and then turned around and said no. I have a feeling they're going to say yes. They were very happy. They were very giddy. Dave loves the fact that Jamie's not afraid to be herself and she accepts him for who he is. She loves the fact that, he accepts her for who she is, which I think for Jamie, for someone with such a big personality, you need to be with someone who's going to accept you and not sort of dumb you down or sort of try and mellow you. Obviously, there's the anxiety of what is the other person going to say on Final Vows. Dave saw his vows at the wedding and he really cringed because he said it was a bit cringe, some of the stuff he said. I think him and his friends, or maybe while they were drunk, had written those vows. So I think getting to know Jamie and see who Jamie is the reason why he said, oh my God, I got the ache. Anyway, they pack their bags and Dave is the one who leaves the apartment because they're spending the night separately. This is something that I've noticed on Married at First Sight, especially in the US as well, that they will sort of separate them the night before the wedding and then they'll separate them, not the night before the wedding, they'll separate them before the Final Vows and then sort of then they decide whether they want to live with the person or whether they want to stay. I think it's a good idea because it allows you time to reflect on your journey. It allows you to make sort of an autonomous decision without having to sort of be afraid or be coaxed by your partner into what to say. So that was really cute. You have Beth and TJ. Beth and TJ, I don't know why we're still watching them. I really don't. I think Beth knows they didn't get enough airtime, so she's trying to leave the show with some clout because there's no reason why we needed to have that conversation. Yes, you can see that her eyes were swollen. She must have been crying, but at the end of the day, she knew this man didn't want her. And the idea that she stayed in this marriage and tried to make things work when she knew that it wasn't going anywhere. I don't know whether it's because this was her first relationship or whether it was because she wanted clout. For TJ, you could tell he had checked out. He had checked out because she said to him, I can't go to Final Vows with you, knowing for a fact that, things might not turn out in my favor. So I'd rather we end things here. And it's like, I don't know. I really don't. TJ, you could see it checked out. It was more Beth, I think, needing the realization that this is not going anywhere and this guy has moved on. Apparently, someone had written in the comments that he was on Big Brother Australia or something like that, which is really sad that on a marriage show, they shouldn't be recruiting people from other shows. They should be recruiting people who really want to get married. If someone has been on a previous show or if someone has applied to another show, then they shouldn't be brought onto this show. That's just my opinion. Anyway, they choose to end things. You have Beth go off crying and TJ, I think, is just checked out. Here we go. I know I sound like a broken record. I really do. Anyway, you have Paul. He's packing his stuff because he has had to move out of the apartment because Karina wanted to stay in the apartment when they fell out. And so you have Paul sort of packing his stuff, and it's sort of reminiscing on, or he's trying to reflect on what's happened. And he's sort of saying he doesn't understand how Karina, even though things have happened that are negative, she didn't sort of tell everyone about the good times that they've had. And it's like, Paul, I don't think this is the time for you to be asking for validation or trying to vindicate yourself. I think this is the time for you to just sit there and just watch and see exactly what's going on. The idea that you'd want her to sort of reassure you or sort of reaffirm to everybody else that you're an amazing guy, that's wishful thinking. That's wishful thinking because that doesn't align with her plan and with her storyline that the producers are aiming for. So you have Paul go and sit down with Karina. And I don't know whether I'm the only one who's noticed this, but every time Paul is speaking, he ends up just mumbling and muttering and mumbling and muttering because she just sits there with a smirk or smile on her face and she doesn't say anything. And so it's left to Paul to try and fill this awkward space. So he's telling her, oh, you're an amazing person. I really am attracted to you. I'm this, that, and the other. And she's just looking at him like, more or less like she's saying, what are you doing here? That's the impression that I got. So you have Paul apologize once more. Some of the things were, oh my God, I was cringing. I was like, Paul, just keep quiet. There's no need to say, I'm really attracted to you. I find you sexy. No, just apologize and keep it stepping. There's no need for you to fill the space. She's not going to give you what you want. She's not going to say anything on camera. And this is why I was saying that Karina is playing games and people sadly are not picking up on it. The reason why she's keeping quiet, I have a feeling she's giving him a mouthful once the cameras go away because he can't be talking to himself all the time. There's no way. For Karina to say this goes against her morals and her values, it's like, nah, I'm not buying that. The moment you opened your mouth and you said you had the random hookup with a rapper, morals and values went out the window. They really did. Who are you to judge? And the fact that you uttered that in a taxi, sort of in an Uber, with a driver that you don't even know, and with people that you were participating in the experiment with, doesn't make sense. For her to say that, oh, he's very immature, I want someone who's mature. Madam, you're not mature. Who told you were mature? You uttered in an Uber that you had slept with someone. You made some sarcastic and called other people mean girls. Where was the level of maturity? Why didn't you go and call out Lauren when Ree was doing that? That's showing maturity. Where was your maturity when you were talking badly about somebody that you don't even know? You don't even know Cleo, but you had the audacity to make negative remarks about her. So the idea that you'd say, oh, I want to be in a relationship with a mature person, you are not mature enough to warrant a mature relationship, Karina. Somebody needs to tell you that. Paul apologized and then he left. She was telling him to say goodbye to the apartment. And it's like, I'm not buying it. I think at this point, people are looking out for what's in their best interest, what will give them good bucks. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to leave the show with clout. Everybody wants to leave the show with a storyline, something they can sell to the media, something that will continue to make them relevant because people are going to want to know what's going on with them. And that's what I get from Karina. So we have Karina, she gets to watch her wedding video with Paul. And she's reminiscing over everything. Oh, I had a lot of hope. I feel broken. I feel, I feel less than. I feel, demoralized. And it's like Karina's always wanting to sort of say other people make her feel a certain way. We heard the same words when she fell out with Jamie, and she made it seem like Jamie made her feel inferior, as though she wasn't adequate. And so the idea that she's had a problem with Paul and she feels the same way, these are feelings that she has about herself without anybody else being involved. So the audacity to try and blame it on anybody else doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. Why are we blaming Paul for her feelings? Paul is not in control of her feelings. She has to learn to control her own feelings. And so I had high hopes. My whole family was there, this, that, and the other. And it's like, girl, we know you knew each other with Paul. Unlike, Ree and Jeff, who immediately made it known that they knew one another. You two pretended like you didn't know one another. After the wedding, then you ran to the producers and you said to the producer, oh, I know this guy, so we're swapping him out for somebody else. Don't make it seem like you were all in on day one. Please. Don't play with us, because we all remember when she went to the producers and said, I know him, he played me, am I getting somebody else? So the audacity to sit there and cry tears because, oh my God, this guy, he spoiled my dreams, he broke my heart. No, he didn't. Please, we've had enough. You have Ryan and Jackie. Ryan and Jackie, they're sitting there. Ryan is sort of suspect of anything Jackie does because she gives him a bag. After she gives him a bag, then she sort of reveals that she gave, her number to her date. And so Ryan feels some type of way, and I feel like the producers are the ones that cornered Jackie and told Jackie that you have to own up. You have to tell this man the truth about what happened on your date. You can't continue to sort of try and blindside him and pretend like nothing happened. You know what you did. You know you gave your number to somebody else. You need to tell him so that he is aware that you and Rory exchanged numbers, and you told Rory that in 10 weeks you'd be out of the experiment. So please don't pretend like nothing happened. Ryan is upset. He feels some type of way. He feels disrespected. He feels that, that's a betrayal. And yes, it is. Yes, it is. Jackie didn't even bat an eyelid when she gave her number to this guy. So why should you continue in a marriage where the other person isn't serious? Please, let's keep it stepping. You have Awhina and Adrian. Well, they're both upset because at the end of the day, Adrian said, let's not go to decision day. So the idea that suddenly he is there and she is there, I don't even know why they came back to the apartments. They should have just stayed where they were. Really, they should have stayed where they were. They should have kept it stepping, and that was it. I don't even know why Awhina continues to entertain this man when he's told her 100 different ways that he's not feeling her. He has told her that. So the idea that she continues to want to push for a relationship where she knows it's never going to go anywhere, nothing's going to progress from where they are. So I don't get why she continues to push for this relationship. They received the tablet with their wedding video and she refuses to watch it because she says, I'm feeling some type of way, I'm not in the right space of mind to watch it. And it's like, you don't even need to watch it. You need to pack your bags and run as fast as you can because this man is not good for you. Anyway, we have Jamie and Dave. They're preparing for their final vows. They're sort of reminiscing on their relationship and what they've been through. They're both sort of sentimental about the fact that they've had an amazing journey. Yes, there was the dip when Dave said he wasn't feeling her romantically or his feelings weren't growing. But Jamie feels like, he's really made an effort. So she sits down for a conversation with her sister, and her sister was saying to her, what changed? What made him suddenly decide that his feelings were growing? And I have a feeling that this is a storyline from the start that was taken and was moved forward so that it could appear that towards the end they were not feeling one another. I think Dave, maybe at the start his feelings might have been slow, but eventually he caught up. And so Jamie's sister is right to sort of express concern given the storyline or the story she's been told. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I really don't know. I think Dave, I was taken aback when the storyline came that he has no romantic feelings for Jamie. So I'm still trying to sort of recover from that and see if there is a future for them. I really hope they give it a good go because at the end of the day, they balance each other out. As Jamie said, they are fire and ice and they seem to work well together. So you have Jamie and Dave be the first one to sort of say their final vows. I don't think anyone was surprised by the decision, if we're being for real. I don't think anyone was surprised, given the fact that they managed to turn it around when they went home to homestays. You had Dave's speech. I think Dave is a man of little words. I think this is why his speech didn't at times make sense. I think he was trying to sort of find the words to reassure Jamie that he's all in and he really wants to give this a go. And I think this is why his speech was very lackluster. Whereas with Jamie, she spoke about their journey from the start to where they were, on Final Vows. And you could tell that Dave was nervous. There were certain points that you could see he was worried because he didn't know which way Jamie was going with it. He didn't know whether she was about to tell him that, no, I think this is the end of the road. Because he said he wanted to give it a good go. He appreciates that Jamie's an amazing woman and she is someone that he needs. He told her, I've done all the work to improve and to prove to you that I really do like you. Jamie really emphasized on the fact that she doesn't know whether this man will ever love her as much as she loves him, but at the end of the day she's willing to take the risk. Anybody surprised? No, I'm not. I think at the start I was concerned. My concern was I thought Jamie was going to be a bit too much for Dave because she's always been sort of very outspoken and very sort of say it as is. And so when I saw how laid back Dave was, I was worried that she was going to sort of overwhelm him and overpower him. But it seems he loves that. It seems he likes the idea that he can just sit back and be her support system while she just runs wild and does and says whatever she wants. Then he will come and sort of back her or otherwise pull her aside and tell her that, Jamie, this is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. So I love this for them. I love that they both said yes. I root for love. So I really loved this and I was so excited for them because at least we have one couple choose to stay together. I can't wait to see because now we only have 4 other couples, don't we? Yeah, I think so. We have Ryan and Jackie, Adrian and Awhina, Ree and Jeff, and then we have Karina and Paul, and I assume they are going to be the closing act. Simpler times. I remember when someone in the comments said that you're going to be disappointed when you watch Adrian and Awhina on Final Vows, and I was shocked because at that point I thought that Awhina was done with Adrian and she was going to leave him and go home. Never in my wildest dream would I have expected her to stay until Final Vows, and never in my wildest dreams would I have expected that sudden twist. I don't get it. I really don't. Adrian and Awhina are ruled by little Adrian and little Awhina as far as I'm concerned, because they have this, we don't see who Adrian consults, but we see Awhina speaking to her twin sister and Cleo saying to her, would you allow your daughter to date Adrian? And she said no. Well, she was sort of undecided. She couldn't come out and say no, but she knew it was a no. And so the idea that she was told that and she still continued to go and have final vows with this man tells me that these two people just were there for clout. They wanted to be on TV. They wanted to be the talk of the town. They wanted to be the Tory and Jack of this season because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. They read their vows. They agree that they've got a physical connection. And I think this is the thing that has driven them. This is the thing that has kept them in this marriage. The fact that they have this physical attraction to one another. And so they have sort of allowed little Awhina and little Adrian to sort of rule the roost. And so they then come to the situation whereby she has her daughter. She lives, in a different state to him. And he is saying, my life is here and your life is there. So I'm not willing to move. You're not willing to move. And maybe it's time for us to end things. They both say they're going their separate ways, only for them to turn around and sort of give us a spin and say, oh, well, actually, we were looking at it black and white. There are gray areas. Do you want to spend the night with me? And it's like, Awhina, please don't. You're embarrassing yourself. How can you allow this man to continue to humiliate you and use you as a toy? Why would you do that to yourself? And even the producers, I think, were shocked. They loved the spin, they loved the drama, they loved the chaos and the toxicness, but at the end of the day, they were taken aback because they couldn't understand what was going on with Adrian and Awhina. Because 1 minute they're at the altar, they're saying to one another, this is the end of the road. You go your way, I'm going my way. And then suddenly they're talking about hooking up. And it's like, what are we doing here? Are we here to be married or are we here to find someone we can hook up with? I really would have loved to be a fly on the wall to hear the conversation between Awhina and her sister once she realized that, Awhina left with Adrian. I remember saying after there was the clash between families that, Awhina's sister, I don't think agrees with this Adrian situation. And this is why she didn't come to the apartment with Awhina after Awhina was crying about the way she was treated by Adrian's sisters. And sadly, this proves it. This proves it to me because I don't think the sister agreed with, Awhina staying with this man. Sadly, they chose the wrong twin. Maybe they should have matched Adrian with Cleo and then we would have really had the show. Because I don't think Cleo has patience for nonsense and I don't think she would have put up with whatever Adrian was asking her to put up with. And for Awhina to actually comment that, oh, you've got this wicked smile that you give me that I can't resist. I said this last week that Adrian has a way of getting what he wants and he just proved it to us in front of everyone. I'm sorry, but Karina is tempting me to go against my morals and values. Because when I started my channel, I said I would never say anything derogatory or sort of demeaning about anyone. But sadly, she's pushing me. Anyway, right on cue, we have Karina and her mum meet up and sit in a park with a backdrop of a church. make that make sense. Obviously, because of their values, they sort of snicker about it. But anyway, whoever they know in production is really working overtime to try and revamp her image, especially after the comments she made about the girls and the fact that she talked about Cleo behind Awhina's back. Because you have them sit down, you have, Karina sort of complaining to her mom about the incident with, Paul, how dare he go on this date with somebody else, it makes her feel unworthy, that she doesn't have blonde hair, that doesn't have long legs. And it's like, these are your problems, love. This has nothing to do with Paul. Paul never said that to you. How did you know that the girl had blonde hair? Make that make sense. How did you know that she had long legs? Make that make sense. It's not like you made a random compliment about someone who wasn't there. That's describing the girl that Paul met. So I repeat again, who does Karina know on production? Who is feeding her information of what is going on behind her back? One advice that I would give is, if you're in a relationship with someone and you're having problems in your relationship, unless you want your family to hate that person for life, don't tell them what's going on in your relationship, because your family are like a bank. Every time you tell them about the problems you're having with your partner, they're depositing. The day you and your partner suddenly make amends and are in a good space, your family is not going to let go of all the negative things that you've told them about your partner. So the fact that out of everybody she could bring her mom doesn't make sense. Maybe it's just to me, because she could have brought her friends, she could have brought her sisters, she could have brought anybody else, but she brought her mom to make a statement because she knows her mom carries weight. I feel like Karina knows she got a bad edit after the comments about Cleo came out, and this is why she's been on this spiritual, oh, I'm a good person, a vibe, and sort of trying to sort of sell to everyone that she's a very religious girl who's very loving, compassionate, and caring. So she's on this tour to revamp her character. I am not buying it, and I really am not here for it. Anyway, you have, Karina and Paul meet up for their, final vows. What do I think? I don't care what they say. I really don't care whether they choose to stay together or not. Paul was excited. Paul doesn't know he's been thrown under the bus. Karina has got in the bus and run over him several times, and she's hinted at everything he's done wrong. That way he comes across as the bad guy. At the end of the day, I feel Paul doesn't know that Karina has got in the bus and run over him. He doesn't. Because in my opinion, she's got in the bus, she's run over him several times just because she's upset that he revealed the comments she made about Cleo. Had he not made the comments he made about Cleo, she would have been okay about it. But now, because Paul revealed her comments about Cleo, she is now trying to tarnish his image because she feels she should come out as the victor. She would have preferred a storyline like Ree and Jeff, but because she's not getting that, she is going to come out the angel out of this situation. I can't wait to hear her vows tomorrow. I know whatever decision she makes, she's going to make a decision that's in her best interest. Yes, Paul will choose to stay with her, but Karina is always going to do what's best for Karina. And sadly, part of me blames her mom. I don't know that woman, but I blame her because she should have been honest with her daughter the moment the daughter told her about the issues she was having in her marriage. Yes, she told Karina, you need to forgive. That's our religion. That's how. I really am not here for that. I think they're just trying to sell ice to Eskimos just because they're trying to revamp her character. So I'm not buying that. I can't wait to hear the nonsense that they have to say tomorrow. And then that's the end of it. And we move on to somebody else. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 36. Bye guys.